This story is about a man named Charlie. Charlie didn't laugh much, not because he couldn't, but because he believed laughing was a waste of time, and time, according to Charlie, was already running out. Charlie woke up every morning at exactly 6 a.m., not 6:01, not around 6, exactly 6. If his alarm rang at 5:59, he'd wait. If it rang at 6:01, he'd be angry for the rest of the day. He brushed his teeth for 2 minutes because dentists said so. He ate breakfast with measured calories because Google said so. He worked overtime without pay because his boss said, "This is how success works," and Charlie believed him. Because Charlie believed everyone except himself. People at work called him Reliable Charlie, not because he was inspiring, but because he was predictable. If the office caught fire, Charlie would still finish his email first. He believed life was simple: work hard, be serious, ignore joy, retire, then maybe start living. The problem was, life didn't agree with that plan. The first crack. One day, while Charlie was standing in line for coffee, black, no sugar, because happiness is addictive, the barista asked, "Hey man, how's life?" Charlie froze, not because the question was deep, but because he didn't have a prepared answer. After 3 seconds of silence, he said, "Efficient." The barista nodded slowly, the way people nod when they decide not to ask follow-up questions. That day, Charlie spilled coffee on his shirt. He didn't laugh, he didn't swear, he simply sighed, like life had violated a contract. The doctor visit. A few weeks later, Charlie went to the doctor for a routine checkup. The doctor looked at his reports and said, "Your stress levels are high." Charlie replied, "Stress is normal." The doctor said, "Not this normal." Then came the sentence that changed everything. "You should learn to relax." Charlie frowned. "Is that covered by insurance?" The doctor smiled politely, the kind of smile doctors use when they don't want to say you're doing this to yourself. Before Charlie left, the doctor added, "Try to enjoy life. You're not a machine." Charlie nodded, then went straight back to work. The funeral incident. The first time Charlie laughed in years was at a funeral. Not because he was cruel, but because the universe has a dark sense of humor. He was attending the funeral of a colleague who had died of a heart attack at 42. People whispered things like, "He worked so hard. He was always stressed. He never rested." Charlie listened carefully. Then the priest said he will be remembered for his dedication to work. That's when Charlie laughed, not loudly, just a short, accidental laugh, the kind that escapes before your brain can stop it. People stared. Charlie covered his mouth, pretending to cough, but inside a thought echoed. That's it? That's the summary? Work hard, die early, get a compliment. What a deal. The strange dream. That night, Charlie had a dream. He was sitting in a waiting room, white walls, no windows, a digital screen flashed numbers, now serving 1842. Charlie looked at his ticket, one person away. The man next to him asked, "First time?" Charlie nodded. The man said, "Don't worry, everyone thinks they have more time." Charlie asked, "More time for what?" The man smiled, "For living." Then the screen changed, now serving 1843. Charlie woke up sweating. He checked the time, 6 a.m. The experiment. That morning, Charlie did something reckless. He added sugar to his coffee. Not a lot, just enough to feel guilty. At work, he left 5 minutes early. No one noticed. That scared him more than staying late ever had. So he pushed further. The next day, he skipped overtime. The next week, he took a half day off. Nothing collapsed. The world didn't end. His boss didn't call. The company survived without him. That's when the dark thought arrived. If they don't need me, what have I been sacrificing my life for? The comedian. One evening, while walking aimlessly, another new habit, Charlie passed a small comedy club. A sign outside read, "Laugh or leave, no refunds." Charlie went inside. The comedian on stage was terrible. Awkward pauses, uncomfortable jokes, dark humor that made people laugh and regret it at the same time. One joke stuck. "I used to overwork myself. Then I realized if I die tomorrow, my job opening will be posted before my obituary." People laughed. Charlie didn't. He felt punched because he knew it was true. The breakdown. The quiet kind. That night, Charlie sat alone in his apartment. No TV, no phone, no productivity, just silence. He realized something terrifying. He didn't know who he was without being busy. No hobbies, no stories, no joy he didn't schedule. He whispered out loud, "What if I die and the only thing people say is he was reliable?" That's not a legacy. That's a setting. The dark turn. Weeks later, Charlie's company announced layoffs. He wasn't fired, but his best friend at work was. The same friend who skipped birthdays, missed vacations, lived on coffee and deadlines. As they hugged goodbye, the friend said, "Guess I gave them my life for nothing." Charlie smiled weakly and replied, "At least now you're free." The friend laughed bitterly. "Free to figure out who I am at 40. That night, Charlie couldn't sleep. Not from stress, from clarity. The decision. Charlie made a list, not of goals, but of regrets he didn't want. I don't want my happiest memory to be a promotion email. I don't want my life summarized in a spreadsheet. I don't want to die with unused laughter. So he did something radical. He started living badly. He danced badly. He joked awkwardly. He wasted time with people who made no sense but felt alive. Some people judged him. He didn't care. They weren't coming to his funeral anyway. The ending. Dark, honest, human. Years later, Charlie did die. Not dramatically, not young, just eventually. At his funeral, people said strange things. He laughed a lot. He told terrible jokes. He finally lived. No one mentioned his job title. And, for the first time, that felt right.